Hi, it's Dwyer, GamblersAdvisory.com. There is a great fight coming up on March 6th on HBO After Dark. It is a junior welterweight title unification match between champion Juan Urango and champion Devon Alexander. Alexander is unbeaten. He recently beat Junior Witter, who used to have a belt. Witter, of course, lost his belt to Timothy Bradley, another one of the giants in the division. Juan Urango has only lost twice. Those two losses were to Ricky Hatton and Andre Berto. Juan Urango is a tough champion who recently beat Randall Bailey, and he takes on all comers. How good is this fight? BoxRec.com believes that this fight is a 5-star out of 5-star fight. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can get an edge on the casino. I like Devon Alexander in the fight. Juan Urango is, like Marvin Hagler, a right-handed fighter who is fighting out of a southpaw position. What that means is that if you get by Juan Urango's right hand, you'll find that Juan Urango doesn't have much of a left. In other words, what an opponent has to do is to find a way to stay away from Juan Urango's lead jab, which is a right jab, and to also find a way to stay away from Juan Urango's lunging hooks to the body and lunging hooks to the head. Urango fights a lot like Miguel Cotto. In fact, he is trained by Miguel Cotto's former trainer, Evangelista Cotto. I believe Devon Alexander can do that and more. First, let me point out that Devon Alexander doesn't have a problem slipping a jab. He's called Alexander the Great for a reason. Also, Devon Alexander is a southpaw himself. He has the faster foot movement than Juan Urango. Urango is going to fight a very predictable fight where he comes forward at you at all times. And the way Urango does it is not any kind of quick type of cutting off of the ring. He's more methodical, which gives a more elusive opponent an opportunity to throw combinations. It gives the highly skilled opponent an opportunity to not only throw combinations, but to move away from Juan Urango's right hand. Let me also point out, too, that although Devon Alexander doesn't have many pro fights, and many people want to know how you can win the title and then in your next fight for a title unification, understand that Alexander has more than 300 amateur fights, and understand too that Alexander has received training from one of the best trainers in the sport, Kevin Cunningham, who used to be Corey Spinks' trainer. In fact, he is the person who taught Corey Spinks many of the skills that he knows. Alexander has trained side by side with Corey Spinks in the past. Also note that Alexander is out of St. Louis. St. Louis has a rich boxing history. Just like Philadelphia, if you're a fighter out of St. Louis, you have fought some pretty rough battles in the gym. St. Louis is one of those towns like Philly and Detroit, and East LA, where if you come out of that gym, you've pretty much seen it all. Um, Further, Juan Urango against Randall Bailey, as people who saw that fight may recall, actually got dropped in that fight. He looked very shaky in that fight. He was lucky to get up off the canvas and to be able to continue. Randall Bailey apparently was a bit weight drained at 140 and didn't seem to have the stamina to finish a very vulnerable Juan Urango. What was interesting, though, is that Juan Urango really wasn't able, even when hurt, to switch to a different style. In other words, he's going to come forward. He is going to have his big right hand out in front. It's either going to be a jab or a hook. And if you can dodge that right hand, you win the fight. I believe Devon Alexander does just that. I think All of us need to keep an eye on him. The 140-pound weight class is loaded, and I believe Devon Alexander is going to be a big player in it. I like Alexander in this fight. A lot of people are expecting Alexander to win this fight by decision. I do too, but I also believe, just like Urango hit the canvas against against Randall Bailey, I believe there is a possibility that Alexander might be able to turn on his punches and might actually be able to end this one early. Let me just point out, don't be fooled by the ending of Alexander's win over Junior Witter. Witter quit that fight, claiming that he had a hand injury. It looked to me like what was bruised was Witter's ego, because Witter got completely dominated in that fight, and had that fight continued, who knows what would have happened to Junior Witter, who was behind by several rounds on each of the judges' scorecards. Alexander is that advanced a fighter. Don't sell him short. I believe the prudent course here is simply to pick Alexander to win. I believe you'll get great odds because Urango is the older fighter. Urango's 29. Alexander is a relative newbie at 22. Urango, of course, this is his second reign as champion. This, of course, is Devon Alexander's first fight as champion. So I think you'll get some pretty impressive odds just simply taking Alexander to win the fight, and that's what I'm recommending that you do. As I always say, if I'm wrong, punish me in the ratings here on YouTube, but if I'm right, give me 5 stars. I hope you leave your comments for all of us here on YouTube, and also visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. Thanks for watching.